thanks again for joining us here at the Investors Coliseum for another Coliseum update. On today's Coliseum Featured Company Update, we're going to be speaking to James Lanthier, CEO of Mindset Pharma. It had been announced just very recently that Mindset Pharma has entered into an agreement to begin collaborating with the McQuaid Center of Research and Development, a subsidiary of Otsuka Pharmaceutical. James, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Great announcement, great things for the industry, great things for Mindset Pharma. Just wonder if you could maybe bring to light some of the finer points in the announcement that is obviously going to help propel Mindset as we move forward here into 2022.
Chris, it's great to be back on. Always enjoy chatting with you. So thanks again. This couldn't be bigger news for Mindset, and it really helps us really work and deliver on our strategy next year or this year in a pretty incredible way. So this deal, to be really specific, it does a couple of things. First and foremost, at a high level, in order to advance a drug to market, you need a whole wide range of specialties and people with really specialized skills and backgrounds. That's why Big Pharma is Big Pharma. What this deal means for Mindset is we don't have to reinvent the wheel and try to create by raising boatloads of capital our own drug company. We get to stay focused on what we're really good at, which is early stage drug discovery, finding new drugs, because we now have a world-class partner that has all the capabilities and track record necessary to take a drug from where our programs are today, which is preclinical testing, so before you get into human testing, and take it all the way through clinical trials and to market. And so we'll be working collaboratively with them, but practically speaking, what this means is they'll be taking on all of the financial obligations of that work. They're financing all of it. All the funding is non-dilutive. And we get to rely on their operational infrastructure, all the experts and people that they have at all these different levels of the organization to do that work collaboratively with us. So it's hugely beneficial to us. It means that we really don't have to revisit the capital markets to fund our development programs. So it's hugely beneficial to our shareholders. And in terms of our strategic focus, it means we can really stay focused on early stage discovery. So it's a huge win for us. The deal with us, the partnership with Otsuka is focused on Mindset's new drug family 2 and 4. And so those are Mindset's families. One of them is really a 3rd generation psilocybin. Family number 4 is our next generation versions of DMT and 5-MeO DMT. And what I think Otsuka found really compelling about those families is that they are exhibiting really short durations. And that's really one of the key, seem to be kind of one of the key challenges with psychedelic assisted psychotherapy is, the 6 to 8 hour duration of a psilocybin trip. That's a really long time, as we've discussed before, for a patient to have to spend in clinic. So if you can, create a new drug that's still safe, that still works, that has a, meaningfully shorter duration, that's obviously more efficient and easier on the patient. So that's the focus of the partnership, is those families 2 and 4.
So James, this strategic investment by such a pharmaceutical giant not only lends further validation to the psychedelic sector, but an incredible validation for Mindset Pharma, as you had mentioned, and an incredible opportunity for Mindset as well. I feel as though that maybe there are certain points that were understated in this press release and maybe lost on some investors. I was just wondering, we had spoke earlier about some of those finer points. I was just wondering if you could maybe bring them to light and expand on some finer points that we may have otherwise missed.
So this is really, in a lot of ways, a monumental deal for Mindset, and I think it's important for folks to understand that it's even better than it might have read from the announcement. I think everybody has some general awareness that developing new drugs can be a tremendously expensive undertaking. The upfront science is expensive, but then it gets a lot more expensive once you get to human trials, because of all the different skills that are required in running them and in getting them approved by regulators, and then the scale as the trials move on and you add more more participants to prove that the drugs work. Very expensive undertaking, requires a lot of specialized skills. The upfront payment that Otsuka made to Mindset of $5 million is great, but what's really, I'd say, more valuable than that, and the reason why this deal is actually a lot bigger than it might look like on paper, is that they're funding all of the development expenses from taking the drugs from where they are now, which is at a preclinical testing phase, through to the end of phase 1. And that we're partnering with them on 2 families, and they're also paying for the cost of manufacturing drugs. So that is a cost that per family could range from anywhere from $5 to $15 million per family. So those are all costs that are not going to have to be borne by Mindset or Mindset shareholders, because all the funding is non-diluting. It's great. Beyond that, though, is, as I've mentioned, is the operational expertise. And again, I can't underscore this enough. It takes a lot of PhDs, a lot of very specific skills, expensive skills and capabilities to get a drug, through clinical trials, through manufacturing, formulation, all the way. The end goal of this partnership is to get new medications to market approved by regulators. But the substance of this partnership means that Mindset isn't going to have to go out and hire all those different, specific experts to work on every one of those, components of the value chain to get a drug to market. And frankly, I think that the costs of that could potentially, far exceed the actual financial contribution. And again, it really lets Mindset focus on what the Mindset scientific team is good at. We know it's really hard to do more than one thing well in business. And so, having that chance to be able to really just focus on what you're good at, I think, is really a recipe for success. So that's all why, I can use the word monumental without feeling like I've overstated things, because it really is a game changer for Mindset.
Well, James, thanks again for being here. We really appreciate it. And again, we're going to have you on back real soon. It looks like this is going to be a great year for the industry, great year for Mindset Pharma, and we look forward to having you back many more times. Thanks again, James.
Well, Chris, thanks so much for having me on. Always a pleasure. Always love chatting. I was really excited to get the chance to update everybody on our recent announcement. A huge validation, game changer for Mindset, and in fact, I think a great endorsement for the whole space. We've got lots more developments to come this year. We expect to continue to commercialize other aspects of the portfolio, develop other IP. So lots more to update people on as we go. But again, thanks very much for having me on.